Hi, this is Uber here. This is pretty much into day two. I did manage to get a bit of hours of sleep after kind of pulling off a 20-hour stretch of not sleeping. It is a little taxing to take care of a kid. My wife is helping me though. Otherwise, it wouldn't be very tough. Or rather, I'm helping my wife, right? Otherwise, it'd be too tough for me to handle or her to handle alone. But so far, I've been able to then clock enough time on PoE to push the 86. The reason why I've leveled so fast is I haven't really died since the start. I think I've died 13 times with like 8 times being in X. And then the last 5 times recently when I was just tweaking around with things. So just to catch up, this is the build as it is. Right now in PoE Ninja, I'm looking at probably 3 mil DPS on a 5 link. This is not on bosses, this is on trash mobs, so just normal mobs. Um, but it's still 3 million DPS on a 5 link. So there's going to be a lot of room for this build to grow. Once I get a 6 link, this will go up to probably 5 to 6 mil. And then once I start optimizing gear, this will go up to like 7, 8, and 9, 10 mil. I can probably scale this to 20, 30 million in time. Will probably just need me to think about how exactly I want to go about doing that. Uh, and yeah, I'm pretty sure some of these things I sell, I'm not one chaos. I'm just selling them cheap because I'm pretty sure it helps someone else in their progress in their league start. And if I'm not in a map, I don't mind selling things to people. All right, so just this a bit of an update with the build. Uh, right now, the changes that have I have done is to reduce my need for uh, stats. Rather, I've gotten a lot of stats on my rings. So I've sniped. I won't say sniped, but no one's really looking for these rings anyway, so it's great. I've dropped out the Thessalios. I've gone to this. There is a slight DPS drop, but it's not a huge concern, right? Because the slight DPS drop is made up for by the fact that I'm taking a lot of stats off my gear, which then allows me to get damage anyway. So yeah, so I'm going two circles of fear, and both circles of fear have very similar stats in that they have a lot of attributes in their implicits. Right, this one has buff effect and max res, and this is like cold damage and cold res. The cold res here is kind of redundant. I don't really need it, but what can I do, right? Like if this was max res, I'll be happy. If this is reservation, I'll be happy. But I think this will be considerably more expensive. So this gives me a lot of stats because I'm getting a lot of dexterity from this. This one gives me like almost close to what was it, 45 dexterity, which is insane. And this gives me like a lot of strength and int all as well. So I have my int has gone up to 93 and my dex is 150, which means I can actually take a lot of dexterity off gear right now. I can actually change out these boots. I can actually, yeah, I should have done this, but I haven't done this yet. Or get chaos res and fire res. Fire and chaos res. Because my res is kind of low for fire and chaos, so this is quite nicely done. And then yeah, so that's the reason why I changed to these rings. But the other reason why I've changed to these rings is because I'm now ailment immune, right? So if you look at this, ailment avoidance for ignite, chill, free, shock is at 100%. And how am I getting this, right? So normally it's actually pretty tough to get full ailment avoidance for everything. You have to run priority elements, which is expensive because it costs damage. Or you get like what was it? You just get it off like a shield, and then one mastery, and then you get I don't know. It's tough. You have to like use 3 grand spectrums. I found actually a way of getting immunity really cheaply, and the only reason why this really works for me is because I'm using a lot of murderous eye jewels. So I'm using a lot of abyss jewels because I want a flat from the mason scepters. For mason scepters, I want like a cold damage flat. So what I'm doing with the cold damage flat is I am basically wait, can I actually wait, hold up. Do I have another shock one? I think I have another shock one here. Oh yes, but this one I lose some life, I think. I gain damage. Wait, hold up. Let me see. Yeah, I lose a bit of life, 50 life. But I think this no, this is fine. This is better actually. So if you see, as you can see here, I'm getting shock. The shock roll here is kind of low, So it's unfortunate, but whatever it is. I'm still looking for flat damage. I think flat damage is way more important for this build. So I've gone like look for double flat for cold because I want to double the damage using frost breath and then uh, multiply that with the heat shiver, right? So I want double flat for cold on cold and mace scepter attacks, cold attacks and mace scepter attacks. And then I want ideally life, if possible, on the prefix, and then on the suffix, I want a ailment avoid. So in this case, I have a 32% ailment avoid for shock, right? And the 32% ailment avoidment for shock is basically giving me, I think almost close to, so it's 75%, 1.75 on this is like 50 something, I think. It's about 40 something or 50 something. I get the 17 from this, so I'm getting the 17 from the shield. The shield is pretty tree, about 3 chaos. And then what I did was afterwards was to add another 31% of shock here. So actually I have 100 of shock and probably like only 17 of everything else. But the reason why it's gone to 100 is because I'm using a Swarm Shroud. So modifies the chance to avoid being shocked, apply to all elemental ailments. So I basically have full ailment avoid from elemental ailments. This includes brittle, shock, set, and scorch, right? So I have actually gotten like full ailment immunity from this, and it's really really cheap because you just need the Stygian Vice, and if you have a like a high roll on that shock, avoid shock, it may be like 40%. You get it at 50%. Sorry, you can probably get it to like you can probably just need these two without the shield. All right. In this case, I also have a bleeding one here, so this is cold damage as well with life and bleeding. And then with another jewel here for bleeding. Where do I have it? I'm not sure. I can't remember. Ah, yeah. Another jewel I have here for bleeding. I actually am close to 100% bleeding avoidance. I'm at 98. So if I just get a slightly better jewel, I'm gonna have 100% bleeding avoidance. I'm gonna avoid, be immune to bleeding as well. Right here, it gives me corrupted blood immunity. So I actually solved that problem without having to rely on life flask. I don't think there is a life flask anymore that has staunching. I think they removed staunching from the game. Just what I've observed so far. So that means this is probably the best way of getting like bleed immunity cheaply. And that also means like I don't have to go Brine King because I the sun is kind of useless for me anyway. I'm using Unwavering. I'm also going like Soul Arakali to get reduced damage over time taken, and then hopefully get more chaos resistance against damage over time, and increase recovery rate, etc. etc. I've also pathed here and gone Iron Reflexes. I realized that I have a lot of dexterity, not dexterity, I have a lot of evasion because Heat Shiver is evasion based, Pain Seeker is evasion based, and so is my boots, they're evasion based. And I'm possibly looking at dropping Hatred and then using, what's that thing called again? Using Grace. So if I can use Grace Determination and Defiance Banner, I'll basically have about close to, I think, 50k armor with 78 auras because of the prismatic and all that. As you can see, I've got like 78% auras. And this would make me very, very tanky because not only do I have impressive defenses, I'm gonna be probably about 5.5k total life after upgrades. So right now my chest armor is still pretty crap. I need a 6 link and I need more life, probably more physical damage reduction. But yeah, so if I can get 5.5k life with like close to 70 auras, and then 50k armor also, I'm pretty sure this will be super tanky and can do endgame bosses pretty easily. And along with freeze, right? So freeze also makes it very easy to survive because basically the freeze is keeping bosses locked or slowed down significantly. That it's easy to just avoid attacks. Yeah. What else is there? I think I've spoken about Yoke in the previous video, so I don't need to talk about this again. I've anointed this for chance to free shock and ignite, Ash Frost and Storm, because it gives you elemental damage, which you want. It gives you increased elemental effect on non-damaging elements and this boosts your shock and your freeze and your chill. Yeah, so I'm currently at like, so if you look here, might seem that I have very low chance to freeze. So the chance to freeze right now is at where is it? A chance to freeze here is apparently it's 60%, right? So normally it's 60%, yes, but once I chill the target, anomalous hypothermia gives me 40% chance to freeze enemies which are chilled. So enemies that are chilled, I have 100% chance to freeze on. So yeah, I had to probably fork out extra for this. I think this was like 12 chaos or something. But other than that, this is how I've scaled the character to be more tanky. It's a lot more defensive now. And I should be able to push into rids and high rids without actually dying a lot. My next goal with farming is going to I'm just gonna go rids and then use that to start farming delve, which I usually do every league. I like delve a lot. I think it's more rewarding than sanctum, unfortunately, because when you get a delve city, you get a crap ton of chaos and other currency. So that's generally what my plan is right now to do delve. So my Atlas passives are generally around. That's how it looks like. Where's my Atlas? Okay, yeah. So as you can see, I'm pathing this way. I want the guaranteed rewards from Betrayal. So this is intelligence gathering, obviously really good. I got Sulfide Diffusion. So as long as I'm doing maps, I'm gonna get all these bonuses. I've gotten Stream of Consciousness because I want to just basically maximize the amount I get out of maps with that unjuiced, right? And then I've gone all the map tier higher ones because I just want to get rid as fast as possible. So generally, this is how my tree will develop. Likely is when I start investing, I'll probably invest in Harvest. I like Harvest a lot. I think Harvest changes. Without Arch Nemesis, Harvest is a lot less rippier. And then secondly, Harvest as well, with the new Nemesis change, actually drops pretty decently good stuff. I think the what's surprising as well is that Breach seems to be pretty good as well. Comparatively to the past, like I think Breach is not so good last league and the league before, but Breach is actually pretty nice right now. I might just spec into Breach and then do uh Harvest slash Breach, but we'll see how it goes. It just happens that Breach and Harvest are all on this side of the three, so I don't actually have to touch this side. Uh, and I'm not sure if I want to do Maven Witness or I want to do Eater Worlds. You don't have the path here anymore, I think, because the altars don't affect the other ones. Yeah, they're not global. Mm, and that's all I guess that's all there is to it. I'll probably do another update end of the day, so I'm just doing a midday update. Uh, and let me think. What else? Yeah, that's all there is to it. Um, the next goal will be to get a 6 link, get awaken cold damage, add a cold damage if possible, and drop fortify for it. Get fortify off 3, so I'll have to remove this and then get melee hits fortify or overload on a cluster jewel. I probably want 2 sets of cluster jewel setups. I want one here and one here. And I want one of them to have blast freeze. So one of them will be a cold damage cluster and the other will be an attack cluster that gives me feed the fury and fight the fury. Is it fight the fury and feed the something? I can't remember what it is. Yeah, so it basically gives me a leech on my damage, which I don't really have a good reliable source of right now. So right now I'm using Warlord's Mark to get leech, and then Warlord's Mark also helps me with rage generation and maps because I don't have Warbringer yet. Yeah, but when I do have Warbringer and I spec for it, I think my rage problems will be solved. Like it's gonna be a lot easier to get rage, especially at the start of the map or when I'm changing zones. And that should be it. All right, that's all there is. Peace. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'm out. Bye.